How's it going today, guys? It's your boy DaveyOnEverything and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing another stoned reaction video, but instead of reacting to this loser, I'm going to be reacting to a whole different kind of loser. So light your shit up and stay tuned. So today I'm going to be smoking just a little joint here. It's called GG number 4 by Robinsons. I've actually tried this and it's pretty good. So here we go, let's get right into it. If you can see, this joint isn't so good. I kind of goose this one, but so today's video that I'm reacting to is called I'm an Incel, Ask Me Anything. I haven't actually seen this video yet, so it should be interesting. If you don't know what incels are, incel is short for involuntary celibate, but basically a bunch of mostly losers that can't get laid, or they make excuses why they can't get with women. Mostly they blame women for them not being able to get women, which is obviously stupid as fuck, because if you look at most of these guys that are calling themselves incels, like, they're not even trying, and I don't think they've ever actually tried to even keep a, decent looking appearance. Like, most of these guys look fucking chewed, so I don't really think that they have even made an effort to pull themselves together and put themselves out there to get laid, and they have this attitude that they are owed sex from women, which is again so stupid. Like, nobody in the world thinks like that. But these guys have this chip on their shoulder. They think that all women are sluts and have this idea that men should be the leaders of the family, of society, and women, women are more of a supportive role, like back in the old days, which I have to say it again, stupid as fuck. That's what I mean? It's 2020 people. Basically these weirdos that chill and hang out in their basements on their computers, talk shit about dudes that are putting themselves out there and trying to meet women, that are successful in meeting women. They'll sit there and they'll just talk shit about women in forums and behind their computer. They think they're these better men and chivalry and all this stuff, but they're really just a bunch of losers in their basement hiding behind a computer screen. So anyways, guys, let's get right into it. Let's watch this goddamn video and you can see for yourself.
If you could summarize your opinion towards women?
Like what I think of them?
Yes.
I do think they are very important, but
oh man. It's funny enough, I actually watched this group debate. It was some kind of feminist debate that I saw online, and this dude was actually on it, so he's the face of incels, I'm going to assume. What are the odds that you see him in two different very popular YouTube videos about incels?
Some topics are hard to approach.
More and more male hatred against women is rising up.
You might call this a new phenomenon.
Either the subjects are inaccessible or people are uncomfortable discussing them.
If you're an ugly guy, you better get a good job and make some money, because nobody's gonna want to talk to you.
Girls, I will destroy you.
So as you can see, it says, incels are labeled as a male supremacy hate group. And as far as I can tell, that's exactly what they are, these guys. If you're looking at this dude here, this dude actually ran over a bunch of people with his van, I'm pretty sure. Now, I could be wrong, but he definitely killed a bunch of people from what I remember. It was in the news.
Don't deserve to get laid at all!
So we found those subjects in person, rented a space in Hollywood, and invited our audience and any strangers walking by to come inside and ask them anything.
Okay, hey, I'm Brendio. I also go by Derek. I'm an incel, and I'm here to answer people's questions about the topic.
Alright, so as I predicted, this guy actually is the stereotypical looking incel from what I've gathered. Look at him. He's got the long ass hair. This hair hasn't seen a comb, and I want to assume probably the better part of the decade. I mean, listen, I'm not here to make fun of people unless it's deserving. But this dude has some kind of yellow Spider-Man hoodie on with a plaid shirt, and I'm going to guess that he's probably wearing cargo shorts.
God dang it, Bobby!
I can start? Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
So you're an incel?
Yes.
Why would you ever sign up to
I think the premise here, they can't see each other, they're both behind the curtain and they're just talking.
do this?
I suppose I would want to give more of a positive light on this community, which is a very negative light upon it.
Okay. And do you think that's a good thing?
Yes,
Why is that?
because a lot of the boys in this community aren't bad people.
But you acknowledge that a good handful of them are, right?
So I think he's probably right. Like, there's probably a good amount of them that aren't necessarily bad people, but they're just bitter, sour, they hate themselves, they hate their lives, they're mad at the world, all because they're too, generally speaking, they're too big of cowards to leave their safe little basement safe space and go out into the world and interact with people. That's how I feel about this.
Not a good handful, I would say a small handful.
Who hurt you, or what happened? What event sort of catalyzed this way of thinking and you getting into this kind of research?
Society.
Classic. All right, I'll say this. People that carry a victim mentality generally don't have that many valid reasons for why they were a victim. Like this dude, she asked, who hurt you? What happened to you to get you to the point where you're this like sour asshole about women? And basically he just says, society. Like he's laughing, but he knows like that's the most bullshit answer. Like society, everybody, if that were the case, the entire world would be incels probably, because society is probably telling them like, oh, you're not, whatever his reasons are. Blaming society for something like this is just bullshit. It's not a good reason.
Do you hate women?
No.
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 Do you have a female role model in your life?
A female role model?
Yeah, like a mom or an aunt or a friend?
I want to say this. I have a female role model in my life, and that is my mom, and she's an amazing woman, and I love her to death, and she's taught me so much.
I mean, I love my mom. I wouldn't necessarily consider her a role model, but I do love her quite a bit.
See, that just hurts my soul to hear. Like, this guy is so bitter about not having sex with women. He's so bitter about not having sex with women that he can't even look at his mom as a role model. That's sad to me. Like, come on, dude. Quite a bit.
If a woman was elected as president of the United States, how would you react?
I don't know. It probably would depend on the woman. I probably wouldn't be supportive.
This is what I'm wondering. So he basically said that he wouldn't support it, right? That was a nice way of saying he wouldn't support a woman president. And I'm sitting here wondering, does this dude think that he would be a better president than the best woman president? I'm like genuinely asking that because I think that's probably the case. I probably wouldn't be supportive of it, honestly, but
Why do you say that, if you don't mind me asking?
I do think that men should be the leaders and women should be the caregivers and the lovings.
Can you picture this man taking care of anybody, especially not a family? Like, I know he's just a young guy, but with his attitude, his outlook, his clear lack of confidence, and I can't imagine this guy being the head of any household. Like, can you picture this guy going to work, providing for a family, taking care of his kids, taking them to soccer practice, doing everything that a father figure, a head of a household does? Come on. This guy, I guess there's a reason he is an incel.
Women of color, or just women in general, have been oppressed by certain systems and other oppressed communities, especially LGBTQ+, all those don't really fit with the spectrum that incels or you have been talking about. So why do you think your method of thought would help fix what we have today?
I probably wouldn't view the things that you might view as oppression. I have a feeling. I would view it more as how we treat children that we love.
This guy just compared women, grown adult women, to children. Oh man. I'm wondering, like, does this guy's mom see this and be like, oh, I'm so proud of my son, he totally disrespected the entire female gender. Oh man.
We control them, but we control them lovingly, not as...
Oh, that's what I'm saying, like this guy's on some real old ass school shit. I think a lot of the reason these incel dudes like that traditional Sorry, there's construction on my street. That traditional like nuclear household is because in that scenario, being an incel probably doesn't exist. Like you will find women are obligated to do what you're told, and you know you have the power on them in that circumstance. So it's the complete opposite of what they have now, like where they have no power with women, mostly on their own fault, right? So I think that's kind of why they take it to the other extreme. You know, if you're the head, if you're the master, you're the father figure, the head of the household, you know, you have the power to do what you want. And I think they like the idea of that because of where they stand in this day and age.
As a slave, not as we're forcing them to do things against their will. I would view it more as a loving domestic thing in the past. And I would say that if we were to do it in a civilized way, maybe in a more, even a Christian way, even though I'm not really advocating for a certain religion or ideology, I would assume that women would probably be happier. And I wouldn't just assume that blindly, I would assume that based on the data that I have seen.
What data have you seen that has brought you to this conclusion? Because
See, like the guy basically is saying like, oh, I'm not really supporting any specific religion, but I think that we should do things in a Christian way. Like that doesn't even fucking make sense, dude. Where are you getting that? And it goes back to like that era in America where, you know, most people were also Christians. It's like he's just trying to, he sees something and he likes and he thinks it's better, right? That's what he's fucking doing. He's like, yeah, I like that better. It works better for me, so it's better for everybody. That's not the case, you freaking idiot. God.
I'm now curious where I can get this data from.
I couldn't reference it offhand, but I believe there was a study that I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Okay.
Oh, she just called him out? I'm almost willing to put money on that he has no freaking idea where he heard that.
This conclusion, because I'm now curious.
Or if that's even a real study, I'm not really sure. I also want to bring into question this study in itself. You know, does it even exist? Is my actual question here.
That's where I can get this data from.
I couldn't reference it offhand, but I believe there was this.
So this guy is like the poster child for incels. He's here to represent all the incels around the world. He knows he's coming to this thing to be asked these very obvious questions, the same questions everyone else is thinking. You know, he's trying to argue for his side and explain his side, but you think he would come prepared with at least a couple of references. Like, you had to know somebody was going to ask that question. And we got Buddy here that's not even prepared to answer it properly. Like, that would have been a key moment for him to maybe have some kind of ground to stand on, you know? But he blew it.
What do you think it is about liberal areas that create behavior in women that you think is a problem?
Promiscuity leads to increased standards in more primitive aspects such as looks. And that typically 99%
of romantic relationships are initialized because you're attracted to someone physically. Like you can say that looks don't matter, and maybe they don't matter as much to some people, but you have to still be physically attracted to the person. Like, sorry dude, like looks do matter to a certain point. And it's not everything by any means, not the most important thing, but it does matter to a certain degree. Humans are physically attracted to other humans, and they have preferences. So for you to just say, you know, oh, looks, no.
It makes it harder for some people to find a relationship, including sometimes good-looking people. Like, there's guys who are much better looking than I am who are having a really hard time finding someone in a place like LA or in London or in Auckland, New Zealand, but they...
I'm sorry, that just seemed like a really odd city to bring up. I don't know, it's not, you know, LA, London, Auckland, you know, no shade at New Zealand. I'm sure it's a beautiful place. It just seems so out of place. You know, it's usually like London, Paris, Tokyo, New York, Auckland.
They probably would have a perfectly fine time finding a woman somewhere else.
So you think that promiscuity is the problem, and if people were more monogamous and more withholding, that would sort of fix society?
Yeah, I suppose if people were more traditionalist.
The irony about that is, like, he is celibate, he's not promiscuous, and from what I can tell, his life is pretty shit, you know? Like, he's angry and it's sour and he just seems like such an asshole, so maybe I don't think, using his logic in that, I don't think it works, man. I think he got it backwards.
There have been a few mass shootings in the past where these shooters actually stated that they were incels or were radicalized by online incels. What do you think about their actions?
I condemn their actions. I don't believe violence is the solution. I don't believe attacking random people is going to fix anything, whether they're, you know, women or men. I do think that the reason
at least he's got that part right.
Why they committed those actions was...
Yo, this guy is sweating so much. Buddy, take the hoodie off. I know it probably gives you some kind of comfort with your little Spider-Man zip-up, but dude, you're drenched, and this is only partway through this interview, so...
Probably because of out of desperation or out of, you know, mental problems that probably could have been prevented had the right support was in their community, in their household. If people, you know, saw what they were posting and saw what they were experiencing in life and did something to help them.
Was there like a pivotal moment in your life, like a straw that broke the metaphorical camel's back?
Listen, at the end of the day, like, these dudes are adults, you know? So for you to be like, oh, it's someone else's responsibility to make sure little Jimmy doesn't run his van through a freaking crowd of people. Like, no, man, that's fucking stupid. These people are liable and responsible for their own selves and their own lives. It's not up to, you know, everyone else to be like, hey, dude, you shouldn't kill people.
You know, it's constant years of rejection, no matter who the person was, constant years of rejection.
Oh my god, dude, no offense, man, but you're fucked. Like, everybody gets rejected all the time. If you're a single person and you're actively pursuing, you know, a romantic relationship, even good-looking, successful people get rejected. Like, you're not special. You're not the only one. You're not the only guy. You and your cronies aren't the only guys out there being rejected by women. I've been rejected probably hundreds of times. Like, it's not an excuse, and it's not something that's new, and it's not something that's exclusive to incels. Like, come on, you fucking guys, man.
No matter who the person was, constant years of rejection in other aspects of my life, it did kind of push me towards more, I suppose, radical beliefs, but I suppose they're only like radical, but they're more just old beliefs, really.
Like I said, his beliefs are based on a system that worked better for him specifically. So that's why he gravitates towards that. He sees it and says, well, in this system, I'm a loser, I'm a nobody. But in that system, at least I would have had something. I would have been in control. Like, that's what he's thinking, and that's toxic, dude.
The incel community is that you feel entitled to sex or intimacy.
That's a whole nother thing. These guys, a big theme within their community is like they're men and they're entitled to sex. They're owed sex by women.
If you can tell the world about something about being incel that, you know, that may not be in the internet or that's overlooked heavily, what would it be?
I don't know.
So here's his chance to really, like, sell people on the idea that incels aren't messed up, dangerous, bad people. And let's see what he does with it.
I don't know. I think it's mostly that most of the men are not inherently bad people. A lot of them are just lonely. They just need some help, really.
Okay. Would you say that there's anything that other people can do to help guide or just support or anything?
You know, the lonely person in your class or the lonely person in your workplace, maybe he's an incel and he's not letting you know and he's just kind of afraid he wants someone positive. Just be nice, say hi.
I agree with that for sure. Like, you don't, you know, I'm not out here saying when you see your local incel, bully the fuck out of them. So I agree, like, if you know somebody struggles with their confidence in putting themselves out there, yeah, man, fucking be nice to them, obviously.
You don't have to date him, you don't have to whatever, just, you know, brighten up someone lonely's day, I suppose.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
You don't want to be an incel?
No.
Why not?
Well, I mean, it's part of the whole involuntarily thing. I mean, you want to try and escape it.
There's some obvious things this guy can do. Get a freaking haircut for one thing. Maybe change your attitude a little bit. Have some more respect. Don't treat women like second-class citizens. That's usually a very, very key point. Yeah, just stop being a freaking knob, dude. Like, that's what it comes down to. You sound like an asshole, you look like an idiot, and nobody wants to be friends with a dude that's gonna act like that. So just be cool, man. That's the end of the video, guys. I think what I took out of this was that the idea of the incel is pretty freaking stupid, if you ask me. Like, this shouldn't be a movement. This shouldn't be a clique of people, a community. Like, if you want to be better, go out and be better. Stop wallowing in your basement, being a little freaking wussy. Fucking get out there and go do some shit, man. Make something. Go better your life. Grow. Stop sitting on the computer complaining that your life isn't going the way that it's supposed to go. Just go freaking make it what you want, man. God, I hate that mentality. Anyways, guys, that's the end of this video. I'm DaveyOnEverything, and if you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel, throw me a like, drop a comment. I would love to hear what you guys think about the incels, the incel community, and yeah. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a good day.